What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and we're back at it with a Black Clover review for chapter 301. And the official chapter name is called Those Feelings. And so there's a lot to dive into this, so make sure if you like these reviews, leaks, make sure to hit the like button, comment. It costs you no money, just helps with the algorithm so that way I can appear to more people. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Make sure to check out some of the theories as well. And I just finished the first volume of my manga, the Most Random Manga Ever. It is a stoner comic book. There's a whole list of different, mangas that and it's storylines that people wanted to see, and one of those had to deal with weed. So now it exists. So make sure to check that out. Link will be in the description. But let's go ahead and get into this. The chapter starts off with Noel looking at Asta, who just came and saved the day. And Asta looks like through his peripherals are looking at, Rill, Charlotte, Gaja, and he stated in the official chapter. Now, this is important because wording is very important. He says that we managed to keep Queen Lobacheka from exploding, but she still got all sorts of active curses on her. And then Libe, we got Chibe Libe, because that was something that a lot of people were wondering as far as within chapter 300, where was Libe? He's here. Now, the thing is, both him and Asta, you can see like the sweat, dripping. And Devil Libe is just all, Chibe Libe is just all like, only one of the gates to the underworld is open. And what's the Supreme Devil doing here? And he also goes on to state that, to tell Asta that, hey, without Devil Union, we do not have any shot at winning. And Magicula is just all like, the confirmation to her, like, oh, this must be the anti-magic kid that Vanica and the others were talking about. So we get, that particular confirmation. Now, another confirmation that we got, which is just like, what in the world? Apparently, Vanica is not dead. So I don't know what that particularly means, because she got a full-fledged ultimate magic attack from Gaja. Not only that, Noel lit her all the way the F up. How she's still alive, I have no freaking clue. But she's still alive, which puts into perspective a lot of different things. Because Gaja could still be alive as well. Now, they could be knocking on death's door, but they're still alive, and Magicula is just all like, that's enough games, time to go ahead and kill Lobacheka and Vanica and manifest completely. Now, as the runes, the curse runes are starting to develop on Lobacheka and Vanica, freaking Charlotte gets up. And she's just all like, I'm still in the fight. And Magicula is just like, what in the world? And then we get Rill. See, a lot of people were sitting up there talking trash about Rill, saying all of this stuff. We have to take into consideration, these people are not captains for no reason. We're getting, as the viewers and the readers, we're getting a particular perspective. Of course, we don't know all the details. We don't know all the training. We don't know all that goes into play for them to work in the unison that they do. And we also can't always count them out, when things get a certain type of way. This is story buildup. Would you really like it if everything you thought was gonna happen, or everything you wanted to happen within a story happen within like all the same chapter. No, certain things have to be spaced out. It has to look a certain way. But you could look back on some of my theory and review videos and just being like, a lot of people are giving Rill a hard time. But he goes on to say, this isn't the type of spell I'm used to, so it took a while to activate, which is something we heard Julius say, when it came to him coming back to life. But he goes on to explain that while Twilight Valhalla is active, it boosts the magic of my companions within its range and makes sure they won't die, no matter what damage they take, which is a complete yes, that is going to be a captain level spell. This actually reminds me somewhat of William Vengeance's spell that activated after he was snatched up, that was able to save half of the Golden Dawn. He wasn't able to heal everybody, and he wasn't able to bring them back if they were like dead, but that's similar to this, except this has like the ability for attacking and everything like that. So Asta's just like, oh snap, and Magicula says, you humans really are fascinating. Now this is what's crazy. Freaking Magicula now pulls out a whole different spell. May I remind you, she is not manifest fully. We got several confirmations that she's still not fully manifest. She's not on second level manifestation. This is all still within her accompanying one soul, and her having, as far as her having control of two souls, basically. As far as with Aesir or Vanica. Now, she goes on to say that her and Vanica, abused themselves during the stuff that they did, and there's 100 of them below the tower as she activates this ability to imbue devil power. So they have devil power. On top of that, they have blood and on blood magic from Vanica, and then on top of that, they have steel magic from Aesir Silver. This is insane, because then we see, as far as Rill and Charlotte going in, attacking them, all these different things. Now remember, they're on a time limit as well, and once that time limit is done, they're apparently going to be, hit with a recoil, which to me, I feel like Asta, there should be a way for Asta to break the effects of that, so that way, I mean, he just stopped an exploding curse, so I wouldn't see why he wouldn't be able to stop the effects as far as that particular spell. But who knows? We'll be able to see. And so, Asta then confirms as well that, hey, I'm hurting all over. I'm not really going to be of much help. And then, Undine pops up and saves Lil Pachika and Asta. Now, what's interesting about this is, for one, the curses aren't on Undine anymore. So was that an effect as far as Asta's sword? I'm not 100% sure. I would imagine there's a possibility, but we didn't see it, so leave a comment on what you think as far as that. Now, there's a couple of interesting things within this whole thing that I think there's something to be able to dissect here. One is the fact that Undine doesn't have the curses. How did that happen? Is Rill's ability able to do that? Because as we were told before, Undine when she was cursed, in order for her to recover quickly, she had to go into the next, grimoire in order to do that. Magic water grimoire in order to do that. So that's somewhat of a mystery as far as with that. Now, also, a lot of people, this was confirmation, and like I said, as far as previous videos with this, Asta's whole thing right now is not to somehow defeat Magicula. He was there for support basically, and to do very specific things. So this doesn't take away from Noel's arc and power and different things like that. Just his presence alone was able to push her, as she said, and we get, now this is the official version, because I seen some people and they were putting it, and here's the thing, like and love are very two different things. In the official version, it says, Noel is just like, I can't believe I'm realizing this at a time like this, but I love Asta. Now that puts more weight on as far as this confession, this realization within herself. Now, she goes on to say that I can't really think about that right now. I'll focus on killing Magicula, and she activates Final Saint stage. Now, let's talk about this. So, one of the curious things that I'm curious about is what's going to happen after the 5 minutes are up. That's why I feel like Asta's there to do very specific things, and if Asta's sword is able to nullify the effects or the after effects of a spell, then again, that's why he's there. Now, my whole thing is, again, they have 5 minutes, or this is Noel, Charlotte, and Rill, Undine, Asta, and Lola Bachika, they're kind of like, they're getting out the way right now, and it makes sense. Now, a lot of people, I forgot the YouTuber, but if I find out, I would definitely shout them out next video. He brought up a good point. Why was there very specific numbers, 100 of them? If you recall, when it came to the strength of the magic captains, they're supposed to rival 100 men. So her bringing up these 100, this shouldn't be much of an issue for them. Now, the thing is that there's something that needs to go down. We don't know how long Noel's Saint stage is going to be able to last or how strong it is. Now, we do know that there should be an ultimate magic spell from Noel coming, so it would make sense as far as her to be able to do this. What I predict to happen is she would do a Saint stage ultimate magic spell, which would really jack her up, Magicula. But again, she stated as far as her rapid recovery. So there's got to be some, like, whatever she does, more than likely it will be let's see. Let's dissect this. What I predict will happen is she's gonna do an attack. Possibly she may use like Vanica or something, or maybe Vanica might like finally die or something like that. But some people are saying that it would make sense for Vanica to come into the fight and the Dark Triad to fight against them. I don't know. I don't know. That sounds like something dope, but then again, they're really, if we're looking at patterns, it would make sense because what happened as far as the bad guys before, everyone joined up to fight against the greater evil. So we could see a reoccurring of that, but I feel like I don't know. On that end, I'm not sure. But what I will say is that my theory is that she's, Noelle's gonna be able to do a awesome attack, but it's not gonna be enough. Things are gonna look grim. Either the time's gonna run out for the 5 minutes, or it's gonna be close to it. Then what ends up happening is at this point, again, things have to look dire and grim. Then at this point, Nozel would come through. Like I said in the other videos, this is a part of building up story, building up hype, building up momentum. It makes let's go ahead. This is, as Libe said, this is a supreme level devil right here. There's no freaking way. There's no way. If by some chance Charlotte, Rill, and Noelle are able to defeat Magicula at this particular point, that would be crazy. Personally, we'll see if this happens. I feel like she's gonna get a second stage. Somebody is gonna, I feel like someone's going to, I don't know whether Vanica or Lola Pachica, but somehow Magicula is going to get to a second stage. At this point, this is when everything's gonna seem crazy, and then Nozel and Dorothy are gonna come in the mix. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that build for more of a build-up? Like, okay, boom, Noelle came through, straight up wrecking shop on Vanica, freaking wrecked her so much. Magicula comes out. Now it's freaking Noelle versus Magicula. Oh, Noelle, Rill, and freaking Charlotte against Magicula, Lola Pachica, and Gaja doing their thing. Boom. Things looked a certain way, and then it looked like there was hope. Gaja comes through, does this attack that detaches Vanica and Magicula. We're all thinking like, yo, Vanica's dead. She's gotta be dead. She's not freaking dead. How? I don't freaking know. But she's not freaking dead. So then we get as far as Magicula and this first form or pre-manifestation exposing more of her. And things look super, super grim. Again, at this point, we hadn't seen Noelle's ultimate magic, so we needed her to do that. Then we get Asta coming through to be able to negate that exploding life curse spell. And then Charlotte's getting a boost and able to, reverse and make the curses disappear. And her and Rill are now in the mix. Now Magicula summons 100 freaking dead disciples that are imbued in devil magic and has blood and steel magic. All the while Noelle does her final saint stage. So that in itself is going to be super epic, but we're at a time crunch. And then what's going to happen after that time crunch. So, hey, I wanted to break this down. This chapter was super, super dope. I know some people had some issues, yes. Why is Vanica still alive? Yes, why is she still alive? But there's obviously a reason for it. And this also is a testament to how powerful she is, And this may also be something to having to do with what Magicula is able to do, because remember, one of Vanica's things that she did was when the Dark Disciples were killed, in the Heart Kingdom, she was able to bring them back to life. Like, they died and she was able to bring them back to life. So I feel like that may be something that's in play with Magicula and Vanica, to where Vanica is not gonna die until you kill Magicula, basically, you know. So who knows? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. I'm glad we got over the milestone of over 100 subscribers. And also, the Most Random Manga is out. You know, volume 1, chapters 1 through 11 will be out on the 8th. But you can read chapters 1 through 8 on my website. The raw chapters, they're not fully edited, but they will be edited as we get closer to the release. You know, now that I do have the official edits one. So, yes, again, this is Miscomposition, MC that writes fiction.
Coming back to earth with a couple gems of wisdom that might take a few decades to decode. So I better get the work on. No need for second guessing, cause it was already written, or was it? Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan.